Good day and welcome to MSUA's Game Changers Live, where we speak with satellite and mobile connectivity thought leaders about where things are headed for mobile satellite communications. I am your host, Lisa Dreher, and I am really excited to introduce our guest for today, Martin Eriksson. He is Space Systems Manager at Ovzon. Welcome to the show, Martin.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks so much for making time to be here today. Maybe you can start by giving us a little bit of background on yourself and Ovzon.
Sure. I've been with the company for a long time, more than 15 years. The company was founded back in 2006. Some 10 years ago, I was one of the lead engineers in introducing our SATCOM as a service solution to the market, the one that we're currently operating and offering. And it's really based on a unique end-to-end service, which includes the terminals on ground, the satellite capacity, the gateway stations, backhaul connectivity, and also 24/7 support. So that's what we do at Ovzon. And of course, this year started off with a bang for us. On 3rd of January, we launched our first own satellite, Ovzon 3, from Cape Canaveral, a geostationary satellite that I'm sure we'll talk a bit more about.
Excellent. That is what's so exciting to see that happen for Ovzon. So tell us a little bit more about what's happening with Ovzon's offerings.
Yeah, sure. So this service that we are providing, it's been designed to simultaneously meet a number of core customer requirements. And in essence, these are based on, it comes down to three key concepts. So the first being performance, so meaning the highest data rates on downlink, but also on uplink. Second one being mobility. So whether you're on the pause or on the move, mobility is really key. And for us, that means the smallest and easiest to use mobile satellite terminals. And the third pillar is resiliency, meaning a secure and robust system, which enables communications to be maintained, regardless of weather conditions or natural disasters or, other disruptions. So this service is really tailored to critical missions, customers who have a requirement for guaranteed high-speed connectivity, and where mobility is also key. So really enabling the smallest mobile satellite terminals on the market. And then again, with the launch of Ovzon 3 now and the offering of that and the introduction of that to the market, we will really start pushing the boundaries even further for these three key metrics: performance, mobility, and resiliency.
Excellent. So when you look at there's a lot of things happening in our industry right now. There's a lot of changes and there's a lot of advancements happening. What are some of the key, trends from a satellite mobile industry perspective that are influencing the strategy for Ovzon?
So there are several, but I would say that resiliency again is one for sure. It's been part of our strategy from the beginning, but the last few years have really emphasized the need for resilient and secure satellite communications. So for us, in addition to a cybersecurity framework, which kind of overall reduces the risk of malevolent access to the system, we mean that this also includes the control of the complete communication path. So from the remote station to the secure gateway, the gateway being secure geographically, physically, and network-wise, and also very robust network control, and also satellite control, which is something that is sometimes forgotten about. And then the last is, I think, autonomous tolerant systems that can, again, maintain communications in contested environments. So I think resiliency is probably the top one. I mean, it's been an ongoing trend for a long time in the satellite community, but the Viasat hack was kind of a wake up call for
Yeah.
the industry, and now everyone is really pushing and taking strides in this arena, and I think that's very important.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about the geographies that you're supporting as well as the use cases. I think you kind of mentioned a few earlier on, but can you go a little deeper on that?
Sure, sure. So we're global. We have access to a global network of satellites where we lease capacity. So as I said, Ovzon 3 is our first own satellite, but we lease capacity on other satellite operators, and we work with all the big operators in the business. We have access to both fixed coverages and steerable spot beams. And when Ovzon 3 becomes available, the coverage will, of course, be extended, and in particular, the steerable spot beam coverage will be extended. And again, given that we support these critical missions, the primary customer segment is really defense, but it's both civil and military. And I think, the ability to respond dynamically to the new geographies that this customer segment demands is one very important aspect of it.
Indeed. What role are partnerships playing in your business?
So partners are very important to us. We work with partners in several areas, ranging from sales to manufacturing, development, and the vertical integration trend has been going on for quite a while. I mean, we've been vertical from the beginning, but it's challenging for any company to do it all. And I think partnerships is also, bringing in that outside expertise which is often complementary. It allows us to explore opportunities. It allows us to tackle challenges, and at the end of the day, to grow our business. I think it's very important. And we work, as I said, with partners in many areas, sales partners, manufacturing and design houses, and all the way to space agencies and research institutes.
Excellent. Excellent. So, what are some of the, I guess, less common or most challenging use cases that Ovzon is supporting today?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I mean, again, given the customer focus we have on critical missions, you could say that all use cases are challenging because our customers are really out there in the most severe environments. One thing that kind of stands out is, integrating these mobile satellite terminals on various vehicles to support different applications, whether it's land, sea, or air. That has been at times been very challenging. I mean, sometimes it's as easy as replacing an existing system with our system to kind of upgrade the performance and add some benefits. But on other integrations, it's been, it's a platform that never has supported SATCOM communications at all, and that can be pretty challenging. Some of the environments, for example, that these systems are exposed to mechanically, thermally, etc., are very harsh indeed. So it's been a struggle at times, but we've been pretty successful so far.
Got it. So, as you look forward, what do you see as some of the biggest changes or new offerings that we'll see from Ovzon?
Yeah. So again, coming back to Ovzon 3, I mean, the introduction and the integration of Ovzon 3 into our satellite offering is really the most important event for us as a company this year, and probably throughout all of our years. It's really a milestone event for us. And with Ovzon 3, we will be able to, again, push the boundaries of these three key parameters to us: the performance, mobility, and resiliency. And What enables this is a combination of a couple of things. But first off, it's a very powerful steerable spot beam architecture on the satellite. And second, it's a unique onboard processor that we have developed in-house and integrated onto the satellite. So this will allow us to boost the performance of our existing systems and networks. It will be interoperable with all of the things that we have out there today. But it will also allow us to introduce some new types of services and applications that we cannot offer, have not been able to offer previously. So, and to illustrate that, in addition to Ovzon 3, we are also introducing a new ultra-compact SATCOM terminal that we call the Ovzon T7. Here it is. It's very small indeed. It builds upon the work we've done with the Ovzon T6, which itself was, is one of the very smallest, lightest terminals out there. But the Ovzon T7 takes this, one step further, and it's really Ovzon 3 that is the enabler of that. So one thing that's easy to forget when it comes to terminals is that it's really the user interface for the end user. So at Ovzon, we've had a very sharp focus on that fact ever since the beginning, because the founders of the company, they come from the terminal side of the industry, and they brought this insight with them. And so just as the satellite network capacity or the link capacity, for example, can set limits on the applications, so does the terminal. And it seems obvious when you say it, but it's really something that many people forget. So it will determine, for example, where you can go, how you can get there, from what locations you can access the network, from what terrain, from what are the physical obstacles you have to deal with, how fast can you execute, etc. So we think that with the Ovzon T7, we are really pushing that boundary and enabling new ways of operating for our customers. Now, the Ovzon T7 is also designed to operate with the onboard processor that I mentioned previously, and that will bring a number of new features to the market. The onboard processor is a regenerative payload, which means that it will enable single-hop communications and also full mesh connectivity between ultra-compact terminals. So it really provides a direct path from one Ovzon T7 terminal to the satellite, of course, but then to another T7 terminal, whether they are located in the same spot beam coverage or within different spot beam coverages. And since we're in geostationary orbit, we see a third of the globe. So that's really the extent of the coverage when we can provide this single hop service, and that is new. The onboard processor is also, it's software defined, so it's reprogrammable on orbit, and it's capable of autonomous operations, coming back to the resiliency. So to really ensure that the satellite communications network is maintained, even if ground control is completely lost temporarily or for some longer period of time, the onboard processor will ensure that the network stays up and the communications are maintained. So we think that's a very interesting and exciting feature that we are bringing to the market.
Absolutely. Are there plans to launch additional Ovzon satellites?
Well, yes. I mean, for sure, the intent of the company is to launch more satellites. Yes.
Got it. Okay. So, as you know, the Mobile Satellite Users Association focuses on the user community. And one of the things that we always like to learn about is what are some of the coming technologies that the user community really needs to, I guess, keep an eye on, be aware of, start learning about?
Yeah. So I think I think that the huge investments that have been done in the LEO constellation side will benefit us all, whether we're service providers or users. I mean, and also if you're not a user of a specific LEO constellation, because that has really driven the technology development, both in space but also on ground. And so I think for the users, particularly on the antenna technology side, I think the user can expect some very exciting developments ahead. Antenna design has always been a core kind of area for Ovzon because it has a direct effect and bearing on these three key performance metrics, again, performance, mobility, and resiliency. And that's whether you have it in the user terminal or in the satellite. So I think that's something that we will all see and be able to take advantage of. The other thing I think is software-defined architectures, both on ground and in space. I really do think that holds a lot of promise. I think it will allow us to be more agile and responsive to changing requests. And in the end, it will also allow the user to be more interoperable with various systems with the same hardware on ground.
Yes, there's a lot of advancements happening in that area. So I want to end with one last question, and that is, as you probably know, the MSUA is celebrating our 32nd year of being an organization this year and representing those interests of the satellite user community. And with that in mind, obviously a lot has happened over the last 32 years in the satellite industry. If you can kind of put on your prognosticator hat and look into the future 30 years, what would you predict we will see looking out another 30 years?
30 years is a long time. That's that's difficult. A lot of things will happen, of course. I think coming back to what I said about interoperability, I think the demands for that to be interoperable between not only various different satellite constellations or satellite communications networks, but also the terrestrial side, will push us towards standardization, the type of standardization that we've seen in terrestrial networks. I think it will take a long time. There are still many players with various proprietary techniques and technologies. But I think in the end, it will benefit us all to achieve more standardization on all fronts, really. And I think we're getting there. And I think that the various ongoing efforts to do, direct to device from satellite is also one of the drivers there. I think that will push that development. So Again, I think it'll take a long time, but 30 years is a very long time. So that's my prediction.
Excellent. Well, hopefully we see that happen even faster than 30 years. I really want to thank you for making time to be here today, Martin. Can you tell us, if somebody wanted to learn more about Ovzon, what they should do?
Yes, please look up our website at www.ovzon.com, and you'll find a lot of information there and all the relevant links.
Excellent. And that's Ovzon, right?
Yes.
Excellent.
And
okay.
Come meet us at satellite as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So Ovzon will also be at the Satellite Show in Washington, D.C. the week of the 18th of March. So yeah, be sure to stop by. The MSUA will be there as well. So hope to see everyone there. I do want to take a moment to thank the Mobile Satellite Users Association for hosting these sessions. To learn more about the MSUA, visit msua.org. And you can learn how to become a member and get our weekly newsletter that keeps you up to date on all of the latest happenings in the satellite mobile industry. So be sure to visit msua.org. msuagamechangers.org. And we look forward to seeing you next time on MSUA's Game Changers Live.